Good morning.
예. 그거 합법 주제 하고 그래. 그거 합법 주제. 사게 좀 된대. 이거 가서 숨주 잡숨라. 야 배워라. 안되면 마페 주제네.
All right. So this special day today when the Buddha Shakyamuni Buddha went to to teach his mother in the 13th.
33.
The heaven of 33 related to the plagi, so the
정대대 총네 둔자 찍네 아마 공부做와 아마 마지막 한세 공부做래 공부 做네 아마 사유를 깨버려
맞아
투모도 이제 나올라 사유를 수지 자소할게 수지 자소할게는 제가 사게 좀 되대 좀 많이 딜린 사비치 많이 딜린 사비다 아니 딘다시 다 자자다 동타만 몰라 다 편도 제 뒤는 밥 사러 사게 좀 되대야 수지 자소를 준주부터 배 준주부터 배는 다우숨이 되셔라 다우숨이 되셔 안 다우숨이 되셔는 그래 그래 다우숨이 되셔 안 대가겐 다 자가는 기하보다 더 상계 가와피면 하고 요마와 가와피면 하고 요마에는 이거 세자다는 루보다 들에다 망보고 다 상계 좀 되게 가와피 버렸어 가와피 버렸다 근데 아니 다들 뭐한게 기부 아니 그러겠다 다 준주 타면 괜찮아 뭐한게 볼때 뭐한게 보기 그냥 상계 어느 숨지 자손을 배워야 스마트 최대 같은 말은 안티가보다 다 본다고 볼 최대가 배워졌다 이걸 하기로 최대가 배웠어 나 고자 상계 좀 더 좀 더블 마 배워졌어 야 쉬어졌어 뭐한게 뭐 준주부터는 야페는 기계보다는 루보다 대조 저와치 보시고도 상대 마페로 쳤습니다. 그래서 드링이 님들은 마페로 와.
The drink. The kind of like as you know, like from the birth of the Buddha, his mother passed away shortly afterwards. One week afterwards, and she then was reborn in the deity realm of the 33. Known as that's the name of the particular realm stage that she was reborn in, and at this point, thereafter, once the Buddha became in his life the enlightened one, then he resolved to go there to the heaven of 33, having been entreated by many hundreds of thousands of deities to come. Went there and taught the Dharma to his mother and to all of the deities in that particular realm for 3 months. At which time, down on earth, the various Dharma kings and those dignitaries had no idea where the Buddha had gone. He just sort of disappeared. And Madhyayana, who was one of the chief disciples of the Buddha, of course, but also particularly expert at super kind of natural powers or magical powers. He, through his particular clairvoyance, was able to find the Buddha in this particular deity realm of the 33, and was able to inform everybody of that. And thereafter he went there through his own powers, and having met with the many deities there, also made his own entreaties for the quick return of the Buddha to come back. And so after 3 months, then today marks the day when the Buddha returned from those 3 months of teachings to specifically his mother, and coming back down to earth.
근데 산재게 다다데 다는 두거 쓰죠. 암브렐라 부터 티칭. 어디 이게 송과 단다 산재기 딱 가서 제가 다다데 가서 딱 그저 라조 거 주주 되게 바람터들 주주요 말이야. 그 매사를 최대 제는 수고요 말고. 아니 제는 수고 매번 인자 제는 마소에 담져요. 아니 또 그것도 도구는 최소로 아 도구는 최소로 또 가르쳤다. 사기 좀 돼도 도구 지킬 납잖아. 아니 도구는 소로
And so this is often known as the teaching of the white umbrella teaching.
Yeah.
And so this is due to the fact that in kind of some of these areas or realms there that Buddha did not teach, like speak directly, but through his own power emanated this umbrella through which the teachings were disseminated at the time.
근데 맞다. 되는 게 개발체 맞잖아. 소소 나한테 담아서 줘봐도 피 어떻게 되잖아. 가제 아니 지금 다 산재게 가서다 소소 맛은 개체 부시무지. 아니 좀 말아. 다 가지 사게 쳐도 이게 배워라. 이거 배워라. 다 말아주게 소소 세대. 다 마여봐 있는 마디. 간투도 그 말아. 가지 전 변도치에. 그래도 마체를 대차와 이마 있네. 마이 가지도 잡았잖아. 아니 근데 가지 사게 쳐도 맛 소소 세대 마이 또 주면 무슨 탐제 라게 맞지만요. 지메버 인상 진짜 마게 심지 탐제가 된다는 펜베체도. 어느 산재 공부 좀 안데라서 산재 공부를 거쳐 줘. 엔티 제는 배쳐 봐. 나서가 파셔. 어느 어떻게 시작자는 뭐한테도 제. 아니 지금 산재 생한테도 돼. 안다 무슨 게도 제자는 가투도 최지나 뭐하지만은 배가 좀 요구됐어.
And so that's this day is marked by then the making of many offerings and engaging in spiritual activities to the best of our ability, and it's really mainly in commemorating the tremendous regard with which, of course, the Buddha held his mother, and this is why he made that special demonstration of going there to specifically teach his mother, to benefit his mother. And that so he's also reminding us to be very conscious of the kindness of our own mother in this life, whether still alive or having passed on, but also in using that example of exemplary kindness of the mother to extend to all our appreciation to all sentient beings, and that reaffirming our desire to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all mother sentient beings, in recalling how tremendously kind they have been or they are. And so it's we do this by the making of many offerings, our proper dedicating of our merits in that direction, of going for refuge, generating bodhicitta, reciting the name mantra of the Buddha, and so on. Any our Dharma activity that we can engage in, specifically on this day.
소소 지금 파마 지금 가서다 남도 대배 갔다 아니 파마 틀이 요즘 시야 도나스가 요마도 도나스가 요마다 야고 삼도다 시고까지 집을 뒤집어져도 같이 집부터 뒤집어져도 다 근데지 뒤에가 삼도 당잖아 아니 심지 시바 속에다 소소 파마 집에 가서 뛰는 시 뒤집어져 산도 뒤집어져 로 다다 소소가 최제돼 가인의 제투에 파매 스타존 야부제 소존 야부제 인자 라게 류를 교마쇼 레바를 교마쇼 삼를 교마쇼 같은 다도 진짜버려도 좋아 진짜버 쇼저래도 그 뒤하고 삼었다나다 다고 커버냐다네 야 차롱 지나도 야고 삼었던다 쇼저 진짜버죠 다다지 카차버를 제또 남주 두자도 가야 말와 가야 말이에요 모두 삼점 다들 냠도 대들 또 남주 두자대 카차버를 제서나 셈바기 버쳐도 못다 진짜 가야 되면 도 근데 진짜 못 찍겠다 그래서 다 하더라 좋아 다 하세요 그래 대수 개치 못 맞고 저 진디 개치 하시네 어떤 간투도 편도치 편마투에 딜레되는 심지 탐제는 수수 마신 투에 진전 투에 진소 투에 대체는 자주 인지 좀 깨트려 뒤에도 자주 것은 깨트려 뒤에도 산재고 봐 쭉도 지에지 어디 저는 어디 계정 그래도 어디
And so that's yes, this is specifically then in a way of emphasizing the tremendous kindness of our parents, and that though we may not pay much attention to the parents that are with us, who we are with on a daily basis, who are next to us and so on, that nevertheless they have been so unbelievably kind to us. And that indeed all sentient beings who and they've acted in the role of parent carer for us have been equally kind, and that so it's very important to understand that whatever we can do now, whatever abilities we have now, whatever qualifications we have gained in this life, we could not have reached this point without the support of our parents, the tremendous kindness of our parents, the degree to which they have protected our bodies, our brains, our minds from any kind of harm for so long, is again really how do you say, it really demonstrates the tremendous love, tremendous kindness that they have afforded us over the course of our lives. And that so in this way then to remember or to seeing all sentient beings as one's mother, and having engaged in acts of kindness similar to a mother in this life, to really recall the details of all that kindness for ourselves, to want to repay that kindness, to develop this kind of sense of loving affection for all sentient beings, the compassion that really is concerned with regard to their suffering, and developing into the kind of special intention leading to that mind of enlightenment, wanting to attain the state of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So on this day, it's a particular opportunity to re-emphasize that goal, that objective, and in doing so, to recall the tremendous kindness of our parents. So it's really very much recommended that we contemplate in this way again and again and again, to build up that sense of respect and that sense of appreciation of our parents, to work for their benefit in every way, in even the short term or temporary and ultimate benefit, to do whatever we can to show that appreciation. And in acting in this way also, we are laying down the very important imprints, karmic imprints, to be able to meet with a very kind and extremely beneficial parent in the future, in a future rebirth, like Jetsun Droma Tara, to be looked after with that sort of kindness and minute attention and so on. So it's all for our benefit. It's all for our profit. And so it's very important that we think in this way as well when we are engaging in acts of kindness.
Sanje,
Chonamla, Janju Banda, Dani Japsuchi, Dani Chujin, Gipin Sokangi, Cholam Banda, Sange Jopa, Chodam Soki, Chonamla, Janju Banda, Dani Japsuchi, Dani Chujin, Gipin Sokangi, Cholam Banda, Sange Jopa, Chodam Soki, Chonamla, Janju Banda, Dani Japsuchi, Dani Chujin, Gipin Sokangi, Cholam Banda, Sange Jopa,
Dayata
Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Soha Dayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Soha Dayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Soha Sanje Tamjega to Tojalana Majiva Saje Gubara Boja Jiya Tovacha Tishi the Bechajo Lapjana Twitch the Nasulangi Law and Single, Symbol, Two, Petition, Mano, watch for you. Castle of the Jambola Mazonga, Lam Rim So we set our motivation to do whatever we can to attain the peerless state of enlightenment in order to be of perfect benefit to all sentient beings. And we know that in order to attain that state, I need to perfect all the trainings on the Bodhisattva path. And to perfect those trainings in turn, I need to have a good understanding of them based on an unmistaken presentation. So it is with this in mind that I am here today to listen to an explanation of the stages of the path to enlightenment based on a set of outlines, which in turn are based on a composition by Lam Rim Kappa.
I was under the party Naginaneta, Jikoso, Jibaja, Sujunja, and Sobaja, Junduja, DC, Name, Chetan was taught to shoot some chat. Tam about it because of something. So, that's something a party like that's something you know, the Gomal Jugata, something is not here.
So we've been looking at the 5 or 6 perfections, and that we have covered the first 4 of those being the perfection of generosity, the perfection of ethical conduct, the perfection of patience, and the perfection of joyous perseverance. And so that brings us to the 5th, which is the perfection of meditative stabilization. And this, as usual, is going to be covered under 5 subheadings. The first is the kind of the nature or what is meditative stabilization. Secondly, how the means of entering into that meditation, into that practice. Thirdly, the divisions of meditative or classifications of meditative stabilization, and what to do at the time of practice or how to practice. And 5th, a summary of those points. And so the first of these, the nature of meditative stabilization, or the kind of like defining characteristics, is that it is a virtue, which is a one-pointed mind, abiding without being distracted or without distraction on its object of meditation. So it's really referring to a fixing or placement to meditation mostly here.
산제 꾸지 함께 로이 셋업 전 로이 셋업 무덤 셋업을 다 같이 미버 제전 로이 랑 로이라 이제 비자 산제 꾸고 되는 때 고해지 말이라 산제 랑 로이 유라 산제 꾸지 셋업 되는 셋업 안디가라 섬랑에 샤죠라 어떻게 샤죠로 어떻게 샤
So, yes, mostly this is referring to kind of like a fixed concentration or meditation. Here to it is said in the text that actually one can use in terms of the object upon which develops this stabilization any object. But it is always said that one should have really some faith in what one is concentrating on, and for that reason it's often recommended that a figure or statue of the Buddha is used, and that if one is using an external statue, it should be consecrated and blessed, and but also one can have visualize a statue in one's own mind without the necessity of having an external statue, and so that can be used as well.
아니 저 가서데 뒤치데 아니 산제 고 피게 요전 때때와 소소 맞잖아. 란제 셈들라. 산제 고 나와 다가란 걸 나와. 다가란 셈 때때 맞잖아. 산제 고 피게 따고 요소 어떤데 지금 강투도게 당고서 내당고 내라보도 요 말때 옹부 시아바도 내가 막고 맞잖아. 강투도게. 내가 막고 왜 탑시잖아. 이시에 코란게 산제 고 나와 다가란 걸 셈
So the objective here is not to kind of like acknowledge and pay attention to an external out there object like a Buddha statue, but it is the appearance of that in one's own mind that one is focused on. So one brings to one's attention the mere appearance of that Buddha in one's own mind, and tries to really focus one's attention and to stabilize one's focus on that inner object. This is not easy, especially at the beginning. That it's difficult to kind of like ascertain this object, but this is the best way to go about it. And so it's also specifically because the one of the main objectives, or one of the main means of attaining meditative stabilization is to reduce and put a stop to the distractions caused by the senses, and so this is why an internal object is preferable to an external one.
삼된 고메라 쪼아페 치고 요라 쪼아 마베나 아니 고메 되고 말와 소도티 곱시 메바 인사 삼된 고메 페유나 삼부터 아니 삼된 마고 바이나 아니 세미에 와텔라 데네 아니 뇨몰 고가 바브라도 고도와 어때데 전다 그자 어째 세미에 와텔네 네미 아니 타바다 탐색 좀 봐쇼 이게 가소래 캄 고메게 할라야 깨두고 도와 삼되면은 수감을 할 게 두고요 말와 땡에지면은 게 두고 도와 도와 땡에지를 때도 두고 도와 땡에지를 때도 두고도 아니 셈이나 땡에지 요구 말와 셈이와이나 아니 되베 되샤 뭐도 주네 아니 캄고마게를 객지가 도와 타바다 탐지 좀 봐쇼 다 타바다 탐지 좀 대장네 아니 지 가서래 이게 가서제 지 가서래 지금 되발을 되자 맞아 순간마다 숨에 걸려 되자 맞아 딜레 교현 때잖아 다 코에 디기래야 동해 통투가 쟤네 마찬가지 동해 통조는 다바 탐지점을 두고 요와 아니 셈 많이 봐셈 때보지 차바이나 배너 롱롱 지기나 가르치기는 누가 쉬우죠
So the second of the outlines refers to the means by which we enter into the practice, and that here it says in order to do so one must consider both the good qualities or the benefits and of the faults, the benefits of entering into it, in developing meditative stabilization, and the faults of not developing meditative stabilization. And so here we can understand in order for us to develop, enter into the habit of meditating this way, which is a kind of essential part of meditation, and that we need to have a sense of wanting to engage in it, to really see what the profit, what the benefit is of entering into developing or cultivating meditative stabilization. And so this is the means or the reasoning behind considering the benefits on the one hand of entering into it and the faults of not entering into it. And the faults, of course, being primarily that we will have a distracted mind, and distraction leads to kind of like mental affliction. And so this is one of the things that we really want to avoid. But quite apart from the goals of attaining liberation and the omniscient state of enlightenment, meditative stabilization and concentration is an essential cause of being reborn, for example, in the form realms as well. If one doesn't have the concentrations, one cannot be reborn in those form realms, and that so we're then constantly stuck within just the desire realm stages. So it's very important for us to kind of see the place of meditative absorption or meditative stabilizations in being able to attain higher states of concentration, like to enter into the form realms, and indeed the formless realms, again, which are predicated on more subtle levels of concentration. But also in desiring to attain such concentrations, we also see the fault in any lesser levels of concentration, like those related to the desire realm and so on. And quite apart from that, the benefits of meditative concentration are now without doubt extremely beneficial even in mundane activities such as study. In order to study, it's said that if we have better concentration, it adds great power to our study. And so that and this of course goes without saying, it's a common sense conclusion, because if we haven't got power over the mind, which is after all what meditative stabilization gives us, if we don't have that, then our mind is going to be distracted everywhere. We won't be able to kind of maintain our focus on what we want to focus on without it. But with that, then we can place our focus on something and it'll stay there. And of course, that's a tremendous benefit in something as mundane as study, but also of course, in the attainment of the ultimate goals here in this particular practice of meditative or mental quiescence and the different meditative powers and so on.
습 가바샤네 네 시작듯이 때부터 두게 가바땅네 지다 되게 바땅도게 보다 더 좋고 다들 내 이번자 보다 같이 셰네다 무시스가 더 토베데 게치고 싶지 게치고 싶고 차트도 게치고 싶고 차트도 다 다른 거라도 잡으나 랑 습이 생활도 치 습의 용어배 생활도 치쳤다 이제 저는 고코는 대대가 열어 소수도 야보시고 지구에 섬서도 지구에 그 뒤에 코아는 못주는데 디가는 년종의 규장정 좀 대대가 열어 그렇아 대대가 열어 하도도 무섭다 그래서 되바이자 근데 되는 참에 관계 아니 레사 아니 못주네 아니 되바이게 원래 대대지 되바이 하다 미게 원래도 와서 되게 대학 하고 다 망쳐 그냥 좀 대대가 열어다
So so we can see that the purpose of such meditative stabilization allows us not only to remain focused on our chosen object, but also to place our mind wherever we want it to be on another chosen object. So it's this kind of lack of control over our minds that is all too apparent to us beginners, in that we remain constantly kind of self-deceived under the control of our mental affliction and our wayward thinking, because we have got the ability to focus. And so this then creates the conditions or causes for us to be constantly reborn in cyclic existence, or in the lower realms even, constantly creating causes to be reborn there. And as the denizens of the desire realm, we have attachment to the objects of desire, and following that attachment and following those objects of desire, we again create causes to be reborn. So, and even though like we're reborn as a human being or as a celestial being in the desire realm, still that carries with it a tremendous amount of complexity and problems.
Something Magombe Nimiti Yana to Sabota. And something called a pain Yana to Sabota, Yana to Sabota, and something called a Toaki. Penangarazo, Lamla Shuala, and the Chikaso, Nyanjuma Sabachuma, which Kiku. And Tagani Shingi, and the Yomola Kapi Javala, don't need to be shed of Kiku. That to get the Puta Yawala. Then as a man of Sandari. Because a lot of Buchi, she did Chiku. Lot of Buchi like them who you are. And the things that the Menasa and Lam Jurikin and Nuti to that would get you take it. That is that today someday the corner that's at the corner shed the bush of the Rangula Kevina. And it gave a ten and this same day church and Nianjo come here. Janju Sem, and Tony Toby share up ticket. Put up with the temple on this. Another, you and the temple shall make Pusso sort of the Kel, Lamja, ye to it out it, same temple met a teacher. Teacher, what she was getting much out and it. Retaka, the day just same day, Yabuchi, same day, she did the wish of social things that you ever, and it did like dinner, and in Nianjo, Janju was sent down, and a young tablet what the ticket. Then till a dinner and Debujan there to ye, and they compared to ye. And the tar knew the city Bacha the Joe Pont to ye. Rangenzi, Bacha the Joe Pont to John Yorba. No, the water pay time at one. 30 minutes and Tanana city and the young Rangi Ombu Shabatinzuki, Shawan the chain, and the Chaxim in the Genta. In the Genta, Doti Chatirota. 안 무트네 코알네티 무트네 되발네티 무트네 안 녀송이 게디 다데 지금 지나다 라고 좀 치부시고 라사서 바로 샘도 뭐됐는데 지난 내가 그 로종다 내가 사모다야 러버를 가지고 연구해 이나 삐딱고 떼고 주용하라 삼년 삐딱고 좀 맞잖아 용투요 말이 로교와 대추초래 타 저거 편도 용투에서 그 땡겼으면 용투 운도
So this particular outline of really defining how one really embarks on the cultivation of meditative stabilization by, on the one hand, really understanding the faults of not entering into meditative stabilization, and then their opposite, the benefits of really cultivating such a stable mindset. And that here it's very, very important for us to understand that to kind of enter into this an analytical research is to result in a sort of delight at the opportunity of developing meditative stabilization. That's a very important energy to carry us into developing such a practice. And that also, in looking into all of the how central meditative stabilization is in the whole path. And so when we enter into the path, to actually enter into the path, we talk about developing the mind of renunciation, to counteract the mental afflictions. We talk about developing wisdom, and of course bodhicitta, very central in there too. And so, but to be able to fully cultivate renunciation, bodhicitta, and the correct view of wisdom or emptiness, it's essential that they are infused with this meditative stabilization, to have a stability of mind when engaging in these particular activities. And this is what actually brings these particular great noble qualities into our mind stream. It kind of really establishes the path on our or in our mind stream, and that when we have that, there then it brings a lot more stability to our renunciation, to our bodhicitta, to our correct view of emptiness. And we can see that at the moment we have a knowledge of these particular noble qualities, but we have no stability with them in our minds. That's why we have a little taste of it here and now and again, but it's so fickle that we lose it, and we cannot focus on it or maintain it as a kind of like an integrated part of our lives. And so and this is where like the mental quiescence and the attitudes of the concentrations and the absorptions allow us to bring this stability to all of our practice. And not only that, but it is the stability of our concentration to it really informs our wisdom in overcoming and in eradicating the two classifications of obscurations, the deluded obscurations and the obscurations to omniscience. And so it's very, very important to understand that this is, in a way, the cultivation of meditative stabilization is counteracting the overwhelming and overweening kind of influence of our sense consciousnesses at the moment. That we what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch, and so on. Our mind is drawn towards those objects, then we become attached to those objects, and that allows for mental afflictions to arise on the basis of that. We're constantly then creating, even without trying too hard, causes to be reborn in cyclic existence in the lower realms, and we have to see what a major fault that is in our whole outlook. So it's very, very important that it all comes down again, as it always does, to the degree to which we have subdued our mind. And in the process of mind control and subjugation, mental meditative stabilization is absolutely essential. Even when we talk about developing mind training, we can make great progress there, but again, whether it is actually going to transform our mind or not is often based on whether or not we have meditative stabilization, like a consistent stability to those conclusions we reach from mind training. And so it's a very, very important to understand that yes, we can get a kind of sense of the path, a sense of all the essential main principles of the path, but it is meditative stabilization that allows us to bring all those qualities to completion.
그래서 마기바체는 대대 콘도산 마기바체는 되는데 다 되는데 개치고 제대로 아니 좀나 잡았지. 잡았지는 거 잡고 배도 친다 되는. 마주나 콘도산 마기바체. 아니 대주에 저도 아니 레다 뭐 사요 봐. 어때 다 간제 된지도 하다. 이내 다음에 말아서 되는 거 보고 요다. 이 개치고 쓰는 이 상황도 치면은 강에 채되고 강에 채되고 또这一般是他不是这个三对的做这个三六个团的第一所当三六个团的第一所当的给出修正吧的你马上呢没看下边呢写的研究马上呢你基本没办法多写年面呢你基本不多没看下了写牛这面呢基本不多牛这就那我基本是多但你基本내가 그러다 다 네 매소 내가 기분 못 와. 다 니도 여와들 핑거 못 와. 소소 되와 여와 거고 와. 요. 다 맞아. 근데这个第想法就是다 문에 저那个身边你把문에 뒤 뭐지 배주当土못 와. 세边你把문에 뒤. 근데这他的我这个공해 시바 되게 뒤 개척부 때문에 뒤想法도 진짜도 이런 거죠. 뭐 기본 다 처주 용 되지. 뒤想法도 뭐 뒤 개척부 뭐지 봤잖아. 아니 직가서도 이게 이시랑게 토네 아니 좀생게 토네 아니 대화 뚝다 동에 세당치 좋아 임바이나 아니 또 쓰게 지금 밀혈을 잡잖아 문에 전에 기기지 세트에 문에 전에 동에지 세트에 정도도 봐 요도도 봐 그러다 벤디 샤이나 답변은 미야마 쪽엔 감각이 남조나 직균직 시에면은 마tin 소리 차대도 기대 시야사 직장만 직년에 기대 시에도 다는 년에지면은 아니 직 뒤좀 하죠 뭐 소치 뒤좀 하죠 빠싱탄 파도 봐서 차대도 가르쳐 잡아서 다 뒤게 좀 보든 좋아대로 좋아 다 뒤에서 문에 전에 그 셰베그 네가 문에도 먼저 배주 땅 마도 받지 하디도 방법으로 와. 셰베그 네가 문에 배주다나 뉴스 유어마이 캐와요 말이야. 닝제부 통마동 캐와요 말이야. 게 남조를 계제 야보다 독자 가를 거래 캐와요 말이야. 샘팅에 디기 줍싱그로 와. 샘기 시대는 누구 말 와. 다다다다 아니 샘기 시대 가도이나 충게 와 좀 많이 맞차지. 요한테도 와.
So we are in many ways a slave to objects of desire. That when we see a desirable object and we get it, this brings some momentary happiness, but also serves to increase our attachment. And then when we see an object of desire but we don't get it, then that brings forth anger, and again creates non-virtue. And so, and you see, anger in particular is like often when we trace it back, it's because we don't get something that we want, isn't it? Or that something that we had is taken away. And so it's like this, anger is resulting out of desire in that sense, the non-fulfillment of our desire. And so this is, we have to see how in conceding to our senses in this way, to kind of like having been enthralled to the objects of the senses, that we are constantly creating karmic imprints in this way. And that it's so important to understand that, you know, if we have more control over our senses, by having more stability of mind, it is tremendously important for us to be able to use our own thinking to establish our happiness and to avoid our suffering. So you can see, like in that sense, like if somebody is very much operating on the basis of just their external senses, we can see some people, if they're listening to music, for example, they're happy, but without it, they're not happy. And so it's like they're completely dependent on the sense of hearing to determine their level of contentment, their well-being. If there's music, yes, I can be happy. If there's not, no, I can't be. So this is showing how kind of, in a way, the way we often really limit our capacity of mind. And so this is the problem with operating on the basis of the senses, that we are unable and do not access the true potential of our mind. And that it's so important that when we do so, you know, we can really through the reasoning ability of our own internal workings of the mind, determine happiness for ourselves and eradicate suffering for ourselves. We have to really ascertain that this is the fact of the matter. It's really a truism, and that from our inner workings, true happiness can be established and suffering can be eradicated. And that you can see too that, you know, when we kind of like use our mind, that and have that control over our mind about what how much significance we give to that which we observe with the senses, whether it's music, whether it's something beautiful, whether it's a pleasant talk, or whatever it is, that we can put it in its context and in its place and understand that this is not the true source of happiness or a way to overcome suffering, but rather that is the purpose of that happiness that we see comes from deep within our own thinking and our own mind.
Suba kasa rabi niya sa ngobe kone chena ta chike la teba ni che. Chile ju kone chena sete la lu sete wa ne ba chebe samde ta ane yode ngo ba chube samde ta semje ki tue chebe samde che wotne che.
The third of the outlines refers to the divisions or the classifications of meditative stabilization. And it says in terms of its nature, divisions can be made in terms of there being a mundane meditative stabilization and a supramundane meditative stabilization. In terms of function, it speaks about a meditative stabilization which establishes mental and physical bliss in this life, a meditative stabilization that establishes actual qualities, and a meditative stabilization which works for the benefit of sentient beings.
다치다 땡에 잼도다 코나데 지나 투모아데 남바다 집에 니가를 유에 되겠지 지나 투모아서 딱 이제 답변은 다 지나 투모아 차도 다 힌두기 다 직장제 말에 리바제 말에 대중 좀 된나로래 아니 지금 삽대 콘타트스페 직가서로다 차상을 손대기 요래 차상을 손대기 요래 다디 디다 남바도 투모와 차티도 다들 지게베 어서다 그러다 지게베 삽대 쓰기 요래 같이 지게베 쓰다 다 같이 로다 베라 컴 되발이 교대제네 근데 컴 고마를 교대제제 컴 고메기다 삽대 무시다 삽대 무시때도 컴 고마다 삽대 시 수메 시제는 거다 어떻게 계획이다 되는지 좀때에도 지대 봐서 가서는 그래서다 코에 코스도 와 지대 봐 어떻게 차대 어떻게 다 지대를 대봐서 다 코알라야 또 별로 실제로 깨봐이네 대학교 때네 대학 과차대 요바 때데 이바이자 딜레타베 다 그렇다 코아스 그때 자전이 원래에 풍비 그 모든 데도 코아치도 디 자와디 단지 머리 베니고 다음에 또 셰럽 겁네 아니 타바토도 내줘 다들 지들 때베 삼대 차대기로 호대자
So the in terms of the first of these, the divisions in terms of the in nature being both mundane and supramundane meditative stabilizations. This is understood in the context of the instructions for the development of such meditative stabilization are common to both Buddhists and non-Buddhists, specifically Buddhists and particular sects of the Hindu religion, where they have the complete set of instructions that lead to this meditative stabilization. And also in the Zen tradition, also they have these instructions. So this is referred to as the mundane meditative stabilization, because the objective is to attain a result in cyclic existence, being the form or the formless realm, and because they are defined by certain levels of meditative concentration, such as the four concentrations in defining the four levels of the form realm. And so they are still within cyclic existence and therefore referred to as mundane or worldly meditative stabilizations. But when one then goes beyond that to consider even the peak of cyclic existence, the very zenith of what one can achieve in cyclic existence, and sees that as something with fault, and then wants to one's objective is to attain a liberation which is beyond cyclic existence, with the understanding that cyclic existence itself is defined as the continuum of contaminated appropriated aggregates, and that this constantly being reborn into those aggregates is synonymous with cyclic existence. And having recognized that the root cause of that being the ignorance of self-grasping, one then concentrates on a meditative stabilization which can facilitate the special insight of the wisdom which can counteract that particular root cause, and that then is the supramundane meditative stabilization.
what happened something something deva la chapa ma ba wa something you make yo mari deva la cha de ge something ko tu yo mari de deva la ani gyön do de deva yön de le gyön do mo ko da ka so re da deva yön de le gyön do de ne da ka je gyön do de ne ani kam ko ma le yön de ja ba na something da mo de yön de 다 예대대 정도다. 다 삼대 당보는 내자도 삼대 니발의 연대도 되는 수발의 연대잖아. 삼대 니베 삼대 주에. 네, 너거든. 아니 되네. 삼대 수발체 되네 시발체. 아니 되네 나와대 남셔대. 제안에 아니 시제. 다 시제는야. 디지도 다 가지고 코알의 교회좀 하던데 저도고 요 말이. 코아스로 다 가지고 코에 자와 단지 말이 봐. 뭐 맞으면 저도고 요 말이 와. 아니 제주도 담에 도에 셔럽도 코에 자와 아마 가서 단지 머리 봐도 코에 자와서 뒤에 뭐 담에 도에 셔럽 겁니다 타바 탑릭 좀 도리 내는 좋아이나 다 지들이 되면 상대해서 참고로 와
So these states of meditative concentration, like mental quiescence, and the different meditative concentrations, they are, really cultivated on the basis of really seeing how the attachment to desires in the desire realm are faulty. And to see the kind of like the qualities of cyclic existence as being inherently faulty, and thereafter you develop a yearning for a higher realm beyond that, or a higher state beyond that. And as said, these are oft described or defined by the more refined levels of concentration. And so one aspires to a higher level, more subtle level of concentration by seeing the good qualities associated with that concentration, and simultaneously observing the faults of a previous level of more coarse concentration. So one moves like from different levels of desire realm concentrations in this way towards up to higher realm concentrations associated with the form realm, the four concentrations in turn. So as one experiences the second concentration, one is aspiring to the third level and is has some distaste or aversion towards the first level concentrations, and seeing them now as inferior and faulty. And this continues through the formless realms, again through different levels of concentration, up to the peak of cyclic existence. And but from the point of view of somebody aspiring to liberation and the supramundane concentrations, one understands that to get above or get beyond the peak of cyclic existence and get out of cyclic existence altogether, one must deal with the root cause of cyclic existence, being the grasping at the self-entity, and to cultivate the antidote to that, which is the wisdom realizing selflessness. And to do so, one must do that within the context of cultivating a supramundane meditative stabilization. So we can really admit in our own attempts at a meditation that the kind of constant distractions that we experience are due to distractions by objects of desire. It's kind of like an excitement in the mind that causes dispersion of our focus. So it's either one. So when we try to develop such a stabilization, we are beset by the twin problems of mental excitement on the one hand, being drawn away out into objects of desire, or a mental kind of sinking or a lethargy that reduces the intensity of focus for us. And so that we can see how these two major faults of mental excitement and mental sinking can very much disturb an ability to develop stabilization. And of course these are predicated on objects of desire or distractions due to desire.
Today was a get of it was that Chinado you should Jordan, the Kaji Jordan to that Kaishing your money, Kaishing your money. In a time instead they do the Mizu Ladana or the Panadula Chikasola Sheneta, Mushi Jordan, Kaji, you are some idea some subject. Kasola Korazo, Tajik, Sambuche, Yarache, Pemberton, and Jibatan, Indigene, Sobacom. What are the rest of the Pemberton and Yabuchavina? Because of the Kujo to the Kigres. That Kujo, oh, that is the well high in some such to a method that comes with Jessica and Jabuyo Marwa. Jabuyo Samasa, and together something we should contact so teach you to go to the quantum in the Janitas, something. Tambucasa the Senator Energy, send never Tapula than a Senator, and then I wish you to. And the region and troops and Chichu the legal language in Bachina, Geneva language in Bachina, and Martin the Swatch. Now the picture you somebody saw that Hindu Nala, that Hindu let's start repaying the same Buyer, remember you that Tajamba, the Ripacha Bataka to make a chat. Now you do what there's a chicken. China 2 more years when they did it.
So in general, I speak about, in terms of where all this practice or this kind of doctrine of meditative stabilization stands in relation to, say, world religion or spiritual traditions. And by and large, I from what I gather, Christianity and Islam and so on don't really have any presentation with regard to developing the mind in this way. And they kind of like they talk about developing having respect and appreciation for others, emphasizing kindness and benefit towards others, patience and so on. And this is they kind of dictate that comes from their particular God. And so in sort of like in putting it into a kind of more Buddhist context, this might actually align with the attainment of some sort of desire realm, celestial being rebirth. And because they don't have any presentation of the three realms of being, like the form and the formless realm is not present in their instructions. So that I don't know. I maybe I don't know enough about this. Do you know any more about these issues? Like what's the full presentation within the Christian and Islamic tradition on meditative concentrations, meditative stabilization? So again, it's asking, is there an explanation similar to, for example, developing meditative concentration based on, say, 9 different stages, or talking about 8 adjustments or 5 faults and all that sort of delineation? Has anybody come across that in their Christian studies, Islamic studies? No. Probably not. So it's safe to... So in that sense, then there's the possibility of being born just within reborn, just within the desire realm, not within the 2 higher realms, because there's no concentration explanation to act as a cause to be reborn in those higher realms. Yeah, because it needs that correspondence between cause and effect. So yes, so therefore, what we're looking at here is the meditative concentrations referred to as that lead to the development of mental quiescence, different clairvoyances and so on, and that and these are common to both Buddhist and non-Buddhist, specifically non-Buddhist being particular groups of the Hindu tradition, not all, and those which have more kind of developed tenet systems like the Samkhya tradition and so on. Also, that commenting on the different Hindu schools or traditions that have such instruction in their tenets, in their teachings, but it seems that like true practitioners now are very rare in the Hindu tradition. That I think a lot of this kind of practice has degenerated, and what passes for Hinduism by and large now is really confined to a lot of rituals. That maybe those who are scholars, who have studied, have a knowledge of the instructions to attain mental quiescence and so on, but those who actually practice are very rare. So we see this kind of ritual born out in those Hindu traditions that have kind of widespread in the West, such as like the Hare Krishna tradition, which is a lot of singing, chanting, and praise and so on, devotion.
A few days ago, I saw YouTube in Russia. So many people Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.
In Russia.
Russia, oh, in state. Thousand people. In the Kavuyor, that is the music chair Kavuyor.
Yeah, so it's
the same to it.
So it's obviously very enjoyable, like lots of music and so on as well. But the main thing is to really control the mind.
No, same to that. Oh. Yoga that is a better yoga be commercial channel. Yoga when I did physical yoga matan, the Sugu Jedubuta, because mental yoga the Ketchishu Hunachana. They will send to Salon tickets on the one. And a teacher to look at Tango is a Lugu yoga. In that is a Lugu yoga to torture because of income.
So it's sad to see yoga as well, something that is kind of almost now ubiquitous in the West. But when we even think of it, it's only referring to a kind of a set of physical exercises. And so this was never the initial intention of yoga. Actually, the main component of yoga is a mental capacity to control one's mind, and to control the winds and channels and so on of one's subtle body and mind. And by doing so, that brings a certain level of pliancy, bliss to a physical body, and that then is played out in physical exercises based on mental development. But of course that is very much now lost in the Western, by and large in the Western tradition, that yoga is almost purely a commercial pursuit. One does it for money. Again, it's demonstrating the yoga side, the meditative posture of those in doing yoga, but it's kind of become so kind of widespread in the West. But it's something that's just another business, really, a completely commercial venture by and large.
You know that kind of
But of course that can be beneficial to so many people, but one must not lose sight of the fact that the main objective is to bring some control to the mind. Yes, and so the divisions, as we have pointed out then, in terms of their function, have the three of the meditative stabilization, bringing forth bliss to body and mind in this life, the meditative stabilization of really establishing the actual qualities, and meditative stabilization of working for the benefit of sentient beings. And so the first of these, the meditative stabilization, establishing mental and physical bliss in this life, is referring to the generation of mental and physical pliancy. And this pliancy is really just accessing one's innate ability to remain single-pointedly on a chosen object of concentration for as long as one likes, without engaging in, without any problem, because one has the physical pliancy, and that is supported by also the mental pliancy. So we hear of the hearers and the solitary realizer arhats who are able to remain in meditative absorption for without any issue at all for eons of time. Because they have this through the power of meditative stabilization. So this, to kind of like concentrate or contrast as well with the way we as beginners are entering into a whole new path like this of trying to develop meditative stabilization, of course, brings with it a tremendous physical and mental difficulties at the outset, and that's because we have no experience of it. But we must understand that it's through this process of habituation that when we do establish, the more we establish a meditative stabilization, the more convenient it is for us both physically and mentally, and that we develop more physical and mental pliancy, the more meditative stabilization we manage to establish.
니바데 연대 뭐바 주베 삼데네서 무시 남자 세베라서 시네서 주베 삼데노서
So the second division related to function was the meditative stabilization establishing actual qualities, and these refer to super knowledges, liberations, totalities and masteries, and the development of those. So we can see in a quality like super knowledges or clairvoyance is often referred to, that it is not possible to have that kind of quality without meditative stabilization. And so we can see in the kind of like development of any subject or any quality on the worldly path that it's not possible without the cultivation alongside that of meditative stabilization.
Actor the pod Tomba Toki, Tamara Sigama. And this summer Kawasa Shadow Kamustar. Tomba, Namdu, the Min Namdula Tene, or this summer Kalitan. Rabata was shed to Udwa. You know, I tried to shed to Marwa. And they got the Namdula Ide Yomaraka, actor acting Jake Kabat, similar character, Mata, Namdula Tena, similar to Shed to Madwa, because acting Jake Kabat.
And so like that when we try to access what another person is thinking, you know, without meditative stabilization that brings forth the kind of clairvoyance, we run into all sorts of difficulties. You know, we may be able to maybe get some inclination of what's going on in their mind by their facial expression, you know, that might give us some hint, they kind of a rough idea, but nothing about the subtleties of what's going on. And if somebody is an actual skilled actor, then it becomes even more impossible that they can be showing one thing on their face but be thinking something very different. So we're at a loss as to know what's actually going on in their mind. So, you know, of course too, that the motivation behind knowing what's going on in another's mind is not to engage in harm towards them, to kind of take advantage of that, but actually to benefit them, because the development of, say, clairvoyance on the basis of meditative stabilization is that it is just a tool to be used in order to benefit others. And so this is why it's always saying too that, like, you know, that sort of like clairvoyance and these sorts of powers are like branch powers, whereas the main trunk of our development should be based on loving kindness and compassion, And in that way, and then when we have such powers, they will not be abused.
기시 런던의 초절을 살리게 얘네 그냥 미 빼야 뭐지 미빼 섭 구야 봐 그냥 기시 런던 초절을 막 불리게 니 말도 재고된다 그 스프링 페스티벌 그냥 파들 가서 치는데 그러니까 파들 저 파들 즉선다 뭐 어떤 네 뭐지 말게 just 치려 봐 상계 좀 되게 출라 고바자네 페버래 출라 고바자네 페스왜 지수와 문제는 출라 고바자네 항상 이렇게 말 가서 아주 레당 뭐 소라 되게 계지 뭐 저기도 오 빅세이션 했어 something 상계 좀 되게 출라 고바자네 페버도 가야 말와 라바라 왔다 돼서 라바라 원까지 야 지금 매밀 애들이 가고 열어 봐 근데 때는 페버도 해 주고도 와
So I can recall being at the late Geshe Lodin's Dharma Center some years ago, that we were often invited for the spring festival there. And there were other teachers from other traditions there as well, namely a notable Christian priest who was seated beside me at one point, and he remarked to me, or asked, turned to me and said, was the Buddha able to walk on water? And I just considered, that this was like the question of a very kind of like worldly kind of person, really, in a way, that that walking on water isn't considered much of a power at all. It's a sort of a mundane sort of issue, and not very impressive in terms of the qualities of an enlightened being. But perhaps from a worldly kind of person, these kinds of miracles are considered to be really impressive. But from the point of view of the Buddha, not so much. And these sorts of, but nevertheless, having such abilities are clairvoyance and all that rely on meditative stabilization. And so, when today is marking the day of the Buddha returning from the celestial realm of the 33 after being there for 3 months, which is perhaps somewhat more impressive than just walking on water.
Oxygen.
No need for oxygen. So the third of these subsections related to the functions of meditative stabilization, related to the meditative stabilization of working for the benefit of sentient beings. And this is in the context of, as it says, working for the benefit of the 11 different categories of sentient beings. But in that really is just saying that, summarizing really, how we, in having developed meditative stabilization, and then ascertaining that benefit can be brought to bring about and to enact that benefit for whoever needs it, for all and every sentient being. This refers to the benefit that one can bring both in the short term or the long term, or both the worldly benefit or ultimate benefit for them. So let's leave it at that for today. Yeah. So yes, it's convenient to stop here, so that then later next week we can talk about the 9 different states and the different 8 adjustments and 5 faults and so on, the more nitty-gritty detail of actually developing meditative concentration. So we recite the Lam Rim dedication prayer. From my 2 collections, vast is space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in loving compassion for all lives and history. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. Not going out with great compassion, whatever direction the precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this greater path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the 10-fold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
Thank you. Lo
a great treasure of compassion, not aimed at true existence. And Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception. Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losangaka at your feet.